In 1980, the standard for run-scoring excellence in international cricket belonged to a small handful of true batting greats. India's Sunil Gavaskar, who had become the first man in the entire history of the sport to score 10,000 test runs, was already in the twilight of a legendary career, while Australia's Alan Border was just beginning to build what would become one of the most prolific and durable batting careers of his generation, eventually retiring in 1994 with nearly 18,000 combined international runs to his name. For most of the 1980s, these two players, along with a handful of contemporaries around the cricketing world, defined what elite consistency looked like at the very highest level of the sport. Then, in 1989, a 16-year-old prodigy from Mumbai named Sachin Tendulkar made his international debut, and nothing in the sport of cricket would ever quite be the same again. Over the following 24 years, Tendulkar built a career so statistically dominant that it remains, to this very day, the single most untouchable record in the entire sport. He amassed 15,921 runs in Test cricket alone, and a further 18,426 runs in one-day internationals, for a combined career total of 34,357 international runs, a figure so far ahead of every other player that for years, most assumed it would simply never be seriously approached, let alone eventually broken. He became the first player in cricket history to score 100 international centuries, a milestone that many respected experts considered flatly impossible before he actually reached it in 2012. As Tendulkar's remarkable career wound down in the early 2010s, an entire new generation of elite run scorers had already emerged to carry the torch forward. Australia's Ricky Ponting, South Africa's Jacques Kallis, and Sri Lanka's Kumar Sangakkara and Mahela Jayawardene each built extraordinary careers of their own during this period, with all four eventually surpassing 25,000 combined international runs, an achievement that would have been considered a career-defining legendary total in almost any other era of the sport. But throughout the 2010s and well into the 2020s, one particular player kept quietly, relentlessly climbing the all-time list in a way that gradually started to make the previously unthinkable feel genuinely possible again. Virat Kohli, who made his own international debut back in 2008, built his career on a level of fitness, consistency, and sheer hunger for runs that allowed him to keep scoring at an elite level for far longer than almost any of his predecessors managed to sustain. In January 2026, Kohli finally passed Kumar Sangakkara's long-standing total to become the second highest run scorer in the entire history of international cricket, trailing only Sachin Tendulkar himself, and by a gap of just over 6,000 runs, a real but no longer entirely impossible distance to close for a player still very much active in the sport. Whether Kohli ultimately catches what many still consider cricket's equivalent of an unbreakable record remains genuinely uncertain. But for the first time in well over a decade, the conversation is no longer purely hypothetical, and an entire cricketing world is watching every innings closely to see just how far he can go.